Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well and staying safe during this time. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Like I said, thank you so much for checking me out. If you haven't done so, please make sure to hit that subscribe button just right below the video. Cool, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks again for your support. I truly do appreciate having you here.
This little thing right here has bothered me for a long time. And I'll show you. Barry Silbert. Now remember who Barry Silbert is. Barry Silbert is with the Digital Currency Group. The Digital Currency Group, I would say, is pretty much the largest company in investment company in blockchain. They've got their hands in everything. They were an original early investor in Ripple, early investor in Coinbase. You name it, they've got their hand in it, okay? But this has always bothered me. This is 2016, Barry Silbert, who's the CEO. And remember, Digital Currency Group also owns CoinDesk, which we know is an arm of the Bitcoin Ethereum narrative. Okay, this is part of the reason this bothers me. So Barry Silbert, back in 2016, this is a tweet from him. Bitcoin's gold, digital gold. XRP is Swift 2.0, Ethereum Classics this, Zcash this. Now, it's perfectly fine for somebody to change their position on something. The problem is how he did it and what he said. If you look here, this was 2016, and then this is also this is 2019. Let me get the other one. This is 2016. I'm with you. We, Digital Currency Group, only own Bitcoin, Ripple, XRP, Ethereum Classic, and now Zcash. Then in 2019, he replies to someone and he says, Ripple, the company, is our largest investment. XRP is not on our conviction list of holdings yet. Super bullish on the company, neutral on the token as of now. Well, you weren't neutral back in 2016, so my question has always been, what happened? And did you sell your XRP? He's never answered that, to my knowledge. So this is one of the great XRP crypto mysteries for me, Barry Silbert. You had a conviction on both XRP and Ripple in 2016. But by 2019, you were using the same one. And folks, it's not a mistake. It is the same line. Mike Novogratz, Anthony Pompliano, they've all been using this line. And the line is, oh, I'm an investor in Ripple and I'm very bullish on the company. I just don't understand XRP. It's not on my conviction list yet. So my question is, because now we know that Mike Novogratz was one of the people that was in communication with Bill Hinman around the time that Ethereum got the free pass. And my question is, Barry, did you have any communications with the SEC? Did these guys know something that we didn't know? And did any of them act on it, on knowing something we didn't know? Because that's where a problem enters in for me. Have these people all, and I'm not saying they have, I'm just asking the question, have these people been buying and selling and doing things based on knowledge that the public didn't have? That's my question. Okay, interesting. I was looking through, as I sometimes do. I was looking through. I was on Brad Garlinghouse's Twitter feed, and it's interesting to look at the tweets he likes sometimes. He liked this one. And this one said, "Our time is coming. I love XRP." Now, he may have liked that because he loves XRP, or he might have liked that because our time is coming. I hope that's the reason he liked that. Anyway, I thought it was interesting. Now, folks, with all this, we got two problems with Ethereum that we talk about all the time on this channel. The two problems with Ethereum is, when the Ethereum free pass. But the other is the disguised whales in the ICO, and I think they go hand in hand. Both of them should be investigated. I don't think there's any question about that. Okay? Well, to me, it's important to look back at what happened in the Bernie Madoff case if you really want to get your arms around what, not just the SEC, but what Congress is allowing, because history often repeats itself, folks. All right, this letter right here, the world's largest hedge fund is a fraud. It was sent on November 7th, 2005, and it was sent by a guy named Harry Markopoulos, okay? This is the guy who was the whistleblower for Bernie Madoff. He was telling these people, it was like 8 or 9 years, he was warning the SEC that Bernie Madoff was a fraud, and they ignored him. But he did it over and over, folks, okay? Just like we've been doing with Ethereum, okay? That's why I want to draw this parallel, because it is not different, and it also applies to Congress. Congress is not going to be able to put these Ethereum people in front of Congress or the SEC in front of Congress and do the same parade that they did, that I'll show you in a minute, that they did with Bernie Madoff, where they were like, we can't believe you did this. How could you not have discovered? There were people trying to show you what Bernie Madoff did, and you ignored them. Why? And it's on you. Well, this time it's going to be on the SEC and on Congress, because all of them know we're letting them know. We're putting them on notice. They're not going to be able to sit up there and act like they didn't know. Let me show you why. Well, first of all, it's important that you understand, because this to me is one of the lost stories of the Bernie Madoff. See, what we're all supposed to believe on the Bernie Madoff story was that, okay, this one guy here, Harry Markopoulos, he discovered it and he was trying to let the SEC know about it, but that was the extent of it. But that wasn't the extent of it. Several some of the largest law firms, or not law firms, largest investment firms on Wall Street also knew something didn't smell right, and none of them did anything about it, but they didn't expose their clients to it. Look at this. This was in his document that he sent. Says, red flag number 20, Madoff is suspected of being a fraud by some of the world's largest and most sophisticated financial services firms. Without naming names, here's an abbreviated tally. Then he names a name. A managing director at Goldman Sachs' prime brokerage operation told me that his firm doubts Bernie Madoff is legitimate, so they don't deal with him. You see what happens, folks? This is the actual document that he submitted to the SEC. Now, so based on all of this, I decided I would put this together. I did this weekend as a whistleblower alert and said Congress must investigate the Ethereum ICO and the Ethereum Free Pass. You won't be able to hold hearings later and say you didn't know, watch it all. Now, I'm not going to show it all. I'm going to show you the part about the Bernie Madoff thing. But I will tell you the second two parts. One of them is when John Deaton is holding up all the redacted stuff on the Hinman emails or the Hinman deposition. He's holding up the pages and pages of SEC redactions, like every word on a page, and how ridiculous that is. I may show you some of that. And then the last part, of course, is Joseph Lubin helping whales disguise their purchases. But watch this.
If you look at who the victims were not, you'll notice that the major firms on Wall Street had no money with Mr. Madoff. You mean, you write in, this is the letter, I'm quoting from the letter to the Securities and Exchange Commission, red flag number 20. Madoff is suspected of being a fraud by some of the world's largest, most sophisticated financial services firms. And then you list some of the firms. Yes, I do. The biggest firms on Wall Street. And conversations with people high up in those firms. That is correct. And the SEC ignored that. Did they call any of these people? All the SEC had to do was pick up the phone. They never did. If you had executives at the biggest investment houses in Wall Street that knew something was wrong, why do you think they didn't go to the SEC? Because people in glass houses don't throw stones, and self-regulation on Wall Street doesn't work. In a bad economy, Madoff's lies simply collapse under their own weight. No one was investigating Mr. Madoff at the end. So he turned himself in before anybody in a position of authority began a serious investigation. That's typically how the SEC does it. They come in after the crime has been committed. They toe tag the victims, count the bodies, and try to figure out who the crooks were after the fact, which does none of us any good. Delivered the largest Ponzi scheme in history to them, and somehow they couldn't be bothered to conduct a thorough and proper investigation because they were too busy on matters of higher priority. If a $50 billion Ponzi scheme doesn't make the SEC's priority list, then I want to know who sets their priorities. Well, Harry Markopoulos, the whistleblower who says his warnings about alleged multi-billion-dollar Ponzi scheme of Bernie Madoff were ignored by the SEC for more than a decade, and especially...
I love that thumbnail they've got there. That looks like my thumbnail today. SEC outrage.
On Capitol Hill, a remarkable hearing, the SEC representatives were asked by lawmakers to explain how they completely missed Madoff's alleged fraud, though they'd been alerted to it by his whistleblowers. The questioning by Congressman Gary Ackerman of New York was remarkable to witness. Take a look as he blasted the SEC witnesses. What the heck went on? Your mission, you said, was to protect investors.
Where have you
and
heard
protect
that?
fraud quickly. How'd that work out? What went wrong? It seems to me a private, with all of your investigators and all of your agency and everything that you all described, one guy with a few friends and helpers discovered this thing nearly a decade ago, led you to this pile of dung that is Bernie Madoff and stuck your nose in it, and you couldn't figure it out.
That's the dirty little secret, folks. I think they could figure it out. I think they did figure it out and ignored it. History repeats itself, doesn't it?
You couldn't find your backside with two hands if the lights were on. Could you explain yourselves? You have single-handedly diffused the American public of any sense of confidence in our financial markets if you are the watchdogs. You have totally and thoroughly failed in your mission. Don't you get it? And now other people are investigating what you should have found out, and you're hiding behind, well, maybe we can't talk because someone else is looking at it. Well, you forfeited your right to investigate by not doing it, certainly not doing it properly or adequately. And now you're trying to tell us that because other people are looking at it, you're not going to tell us what's going on? Like hell you won't. What happened here?
I'm going to stop there, but I do have a question. Where are the Ackermans at this Mr. Ackerman? Where are they in our Congress now? Where are the gunfighters? Where are the guys who stand up and have a pair and stand up for what's right and wrong? Where have they gone? What has happened to this country? It's sickening. It makes me sick for my children's sake. What has happened to this country? When did the truth stop mattering in this country? When did right and wrong become something we had to beg for? Just makes me sick. Alright. Crypto, well, Europe is banning Bitcoin mining tomorrow, which will completely destabilize the Bitcoin network. Whales are rushing to dump. I expect lots of blood and volatility in the coming days. And then Jake Travinsky all of a sudden thinks that we've got this big crypto industry problem that needs to be solved. Make no mistake, if they manage to ban proof of work, they'll come for proof of stake next, and every other civil resistance mechanism after that. This isn't just about environmental impact. It's about the right of non-state money to exist. Their strategy is divide and conquer. Let's not fall for it. My question, Jake, is where were you? You have no shame. We've kicked and screamed about why you've done nothing to support Ripple or John Deaton on behalf of all the 65,000 plus XRP holders, and now you want us to rally together? You say we're all in this together? Is that what you think? What a joke. And I had a Digital Chamber of Commerce, Blockchain Association, where he works, and Perianne Boring in that, because she's part of the problem as far as I can tell. This Bitcoin environment potential ban reminds me, remember a few months ago, December, Chris Larson, you may have seen me and others advocate for Bitcoin to move away from proof of work to address energy consumption long term. A common pushback is that miners would never get on board with this. Well, today I'm proposing a solution to that. So he had put out a solution to this problem. And then this guy tweets, ignore anyone who tries to say Bitcoin uses too much energy. If they still cool with AC, hang Christmas lights, drive a car, eat red meat, etc., etc., etc. And then I said, Bitcoin maxis always avoid the elephant in the room. They present this, and I'm not going to read my whole thing there, but they always frame this in it's Bitcoin versus the old economy. But they act like Bitcoin is the only digital asset. It's the only solution. When they know full well that there are other digital assets that don't have the energy problem or many of the other problems like being too expensive that Bitcoin has. They don't have the scaling problem. They don't have any of the problems. Two of those would be XRP and XLM. But these guys do not want to talk about that ever, because the second that they start talking about that, there's no conversation left, because Bitcoin is a dinosaur. It's a prototype. Alright, and Hassan Al-Nazi weighs in as he does. If you're an XRP holder, you don't have to worry at all about European environmental sustainability standards. Good point. Now, this clip from Glenn Beck is interesting. Listen up.
Of this economy and the collapse of the dollar, and I want you to listen carefully. Yesterday, or day before yesterday, it was yesterday that they actually announced and showed it, the new executive order to develop a plan to regulate cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. Now, this is being heralded as a good thing because they kicked the can down the road, and that's true. And that's what's getting the headlines. However, it's inevitable that the government is going to attempt to regulate Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. We all know that's coming in one form or another. But something else that was tucked into that was worse. Something that has much bigger implications for the future of America than even anything happening in Ukraine or Russia. In the same White House announcement instituting new regulatory schemes for cryptocurrencies, they also said they are going to direct the Treasury Department to urgently study the development of a potential U.S. central bank digital currency, a new digital dollar. Urgently study. Well, we know the Fed is already doing a study and have been doing a study with the Hamilton Project with MIT on this for a long time. We've shown you the Treasury white papers all about digital currencies and what they plan on doing with the U.S. Fed dollar. They've done all of this. They've done it for the last few years. We know because we've seen their own white papers. But here's what they're doing now. Now they're making it public and with new urgency. They say within the next 6 months, the government is going to roll out a plan to create a new digital currency.
I'm your guy. I will keep you posted. I'm your advocate. I'll be back on a daily basis, usually multiple times per day, with these videos to keep you updated with everything going on. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't done so, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Feel free to share any of my videos with your friends, family, social media, or anybody who may care to listen. Thanks so much for your continued support. I'm always here for you. I want to help you through this time. So thank you so much for continuing to choose me. Enjoy your day, stay safe, and I'll catch you again probably in a couple hours. Thanks, everybody. See you later.